The door that opens only at 3:17 a.m. When Lily inherited her grandmother's old mansion, she expected dust, creaking floors, and maybe a few spiders, not a locked door at the end of the hallway that everyone warned her about. The door looked ordinary: chipped paint, rusted knob, no keyhole. But woven deep in the wood was something unsettling. Scratch marks, long, desperate, like someone had been clawing from the other side. Lily asked the caretaker, Mr. Dawson, about it. He froze. "You don't open that door, miss. Your grandmother never did, and you shouldn't either." "Why?" Lily asked. "It only opens at 3:17 a.m. by itself." He refused to say more. Night 1, 3:17 a.m. Lily woke to a soft creak. The house was silent except for that slow, drawn-out groaning of wood coming from the hallway. She stepped out, heart pounding. The door at the end was slightly open, just enough to reveal darkness behind it. "Hello?" she whispered. A soft thump came from inside. She slammed the door shut. Night 2. Scratches. The next morning she noticed something new. Fresh scratch marks, but this time they were on her side of the door. Night 3. What stepped out? Lily set an alarm for 3:16 a.m. She stood in front of the door with her phone light shaking in her hand. 3:17 a.m. Creak. The door opened on its own, slow as if pulled by invisible hands. Cold air washed out. Then Lily saw it, a silhouette standing inside the room, tall, still, facing her. "Grandma?" she whispered, not knowing why she said it. The figure tilted its head, bones cracking. Then it stepped forward. Mr. Dawson's secret. At dawn she ran to Mr. Dawson's cottage. He looked like he'd been expecting her. "It's not a ghost," he said quietly. "It's a copy." "A copy?" "That door, it's a threshold. It creates something that looks like the person living in the house. Your grandmother locked herself away because her copy kept getting closer." Lily felt her skin crawl. "What happens if it reaches me?" Mr. Dawson's eyes lowered. "It replaces you." Final night. Replacement. Lily barricaded her bedroom door, but at 3:17 a.m. she heard it again. Creak. Only this time not from down the hall. The door opening was her bedroom door. The barricade hadn't moved, yet the copy stood inside her room. It looked exactly like her. Same face, same hair, same trembling breath. But its eyes were wrong. Empty. Hungry. The last thing Lily heard was her own voice whispering from its lips, "Only one of us gets to stay." The next morning, Mr. Dawson saw Lily leaving the mansion. She smiled warmly at him, but her shadow was walking a step behind her, as if it hadn't learned how to move in perfect sync yet. Part 2. The Door Wants Another. The woman who left the mansion looked like Lily. She moved like Lily. She spoke like Lily. But Mr. Dawson noticed one thing that morning. Her smile didn't quite reach her eyes, and her shadow lagged behind her by a full step, like it needed time to copy each movement. He realized then it wasn't Lily. The real Lily wakes up. Deep inside the locked room, the room behind the door, the real Lily woke up on a cold floor. The air tasted like metal. She tried to move, but her limbs felt heavy, as though something was gripping them from the inside. Dim light flickered overhead, and in that light she saw them. Copies. Dozens of them, each frozen in place like mannequins, some looking like strangers, some blurred, some missing faces entirely. She screamed, but her voice sounded muffled, absorbed by the dark wood walls. A voice whispered behind her, "Don't move. It hears movement." Lily spun around. A woman sat in the corner, pale, eyes wide with terror. "Who are you?" Lily asked. The woman swallowed. "My name used to be Claire. I was taken in 1994. Lily's blood turned to ice. "How long have you been here?" Claire shook her head. "There's no time here, only the door." Outside, the imposter Lily learns. The copy Lily walked through the town, adjusting to human life. Every movement was deliberate, practiced. People noticed she was off, a little too still, a little too quiet. She avoided crowds. She blinked only when someone was watching. But the more time she spent outside, the more she learned. By afternoon, her shadow was perfectly synchronized. By night, her voice sounded warmer. By midnight, she almost felt real. Almost. Mr. Dawson follows her. Unable to ignore the truth, Mr. Dawson followed the copy Lily back to the mansion. She didn't turn the lights on. She stood in the hallway facing the same forbidden door. Then she whispered, "I'm home." The door creaked. Mr. Dawson's breath froze. The clock on the wall showed 3:17 a.m., even though his watch said 11:42 p.m. Time was bending for her. The door opened fully. She stepped inside the room and closed it behind her. Inside the room, the truth. Back inside, Lily heard the door open. Footsteps approached. Claire grabbed her arm. "Don't look at it," Claire whispered. But Lily couldn't help it. The copy entered the room and smiled at her. Not the practice smile, a real one, because it had finally learned enough. "You're incomplete," Lily whispered. The copy nodded. "That's why I came back." Then it reached into its chest and pulled out a thin, glowing thread. Claire gasped. "It's taking your time, your years." The copy held the thread out. "For me to become you, you must become one of them." Lily looked around at the copies, frozen like statues, lifeless, blank. "No," she said, "I'm not giving up." The copy tilted its head. "You don't have to give up." Its smile widened. "You just have to run." The room started changing. The walls began to shift, stretching, breathing, reshaping into a maze of doors. Some opened by themselves, some slammed shut. Claire pulled Lily toward a narrow doorway. "The room is waking up. It wants someone new." Something roared behind them, not human, not a copy, but something much older. Lily ran. The floor rippled under her feet. Hands, cold and wooden, grabbed for her ankles. The copy's voice echoed through the maze. "If I don't get you, the room will." Final scene. The wrong Lily walks out. Hours later, or minutes or days, the front door of the mansion opened. A woman stepped outside. She looked exactly like Lily. Eyes softer, smile perfect, shadow aligned. She took a deep breath of fresh air and whispered, "This time, I'm real." Mr. Dawson saw her from afar, but this time, she didn't look wrong. She looked perfect. Too perfect. He whispered to himself, "There are only two possibilities now. Either Lily escaped, or something much worse did." Part 3.
into the maw of the door. Mr. Dawson stood at the gates of the mansion long after the false Lily left. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from a heavy truth he'd kept for decades. He had promised Lily's grandmother one thing: if the door ever takes someone, you bring them back. Tonight, that promise was calling him. The house groaned as he stepped inside. The air vibrated as if the walls were whispering. When he reached the hallway, the forbidden door was already slightly open, waiting for him. He took a deep breath. "All right, old friend," he whispered, hands shaking on the rusted knob. "I'm coming in." The door pulled him inside. It slammed shut behind him. Inside the room, a place that was not a room.
At first, everything was darkness, thick and suffocating. Then torches flared to life by themselves. Mr. Dawson found himself in a corridor with doors lining both sides, stretching into infinity. Some were small, some tall, some cracked, some brand new. Every door had a number. None had hinges. Something moved behind them, light scratching, soft breathing, distant footsteps. "This place," Mr. Dawson whispered. "It's grown." He walked forward, cane in hand. A door beside him trembled violently. He avoided it. He knew one rule: not every door leads to Lily. Some lead to things that used to be people. Elsewhere in the maze, Lily and Claire stumbled through a hall that warped and twisted like a living throat. Claire's breathing was ragged. "There's no way out." "There never is." "There has to be," Lily insisted, gripping her arm. "If it wanted me dead, it wouldn't be playing with me." Claire's eyes filled with terror. "It doesn't want you dead. It wants you replaced." They heard footsteps, soft, slow, deliberate. The copy. It was hunting them. Mr. Dawson makes his first mistake. The old caretaker reached a fork in the corridor. Left, the sound of crying. Right, the sound of humming. He chose the crying. He pushed the door open slightly. A pale, faceless child stood inside the room, its head snapping up at him. He slammed the door shut immediately. "Wrong one," he muttered, heart pounding. He continued forward. The door tests him. The corridor darkened. A voice whispered behind him, soft and familiar. "Dawson." His blood ran cold. He knew that voice. His wife's voice. She'd been taken by the door 20 years ago. He kept walking. "Dawson, help me!" The voice grew clearer, closer. He clutched his cane. "You're not her. You're not anything." The darkness giggled. Then something dragged its nails across the walls, following him. He didn't look back. The copy finds Lily. Lily and Claire turned a corner and froze. The copy stood blocking the path. It smiled warmly. "Stop running, Lily. You're making this harder." Claire stepped in front of Lily. "Leave her alone." The copy studied Claire thoughtfully. "You should rest, Claire. You've been here too long." It raised a hand. Claire screamed as her limbs stiffened, her skin turning pale and wooden. "No!" Lily grabbed her, pulling her back. Claire's eyes filled with terror. "It hurts! Lily, it hurts!" The copy whispered, "One of you must stay." Mr. Dawson hears the screams. Claire's scream thundered through the maze. "There!" he shouted, running toward the sound. He flung open a door. Lily and the copy stared at him in shock. Claire collapsed, half frozen, half human. Mr. Dawson pointed his cane at the copy. "You let that girl go." The copy tilted its head. "You're old," it said softly. "You won't make it out of here." "I don't have to," Dawson replied. "I just have to take her out." The maze reacted. The floor split open between them. Hands, pale wooden hands, grabbed at Dawson's legs, pulling him down. Lily screamed, "Mr. Dawson!" He swung his cane wildly, breaking the hands. "Run!" he shouted.
But Lily didn't. She grabbed Dawson's arm and pulled him up with all her strength. The copy watched calmly. "You can't save her. You can't even save yourself." Dawson looked at Lily, her terrified eyes, her trembling breath. Then he looked at the copy. "Take me instead." Lily froze. "Mr. Dawson, no!" The copy blinked. "You would replace her?" "I'm old," Dawson said quietly. "She has her whole life ahead. Let her go." The maze fell silent. Even the walls stopped breathing. The copy stepped closer, studying him. "That is an interesting offer." It extended its hand. Lily grabbed Dawson's sleeve, tears in her eyes. "No, please, don't do this." He looked at her gently. "Your grandmother didn't deserve what happened. You don't either. Let me end this." The copy smiled. "Very well. But the room has its own rules." Just as the copy touched Dawson, the floor roared. The walls twisted violently. The torches blew out. A thunderous voice echoed through the maze. "The door chooses!" The copy's smile vanished. The room was taking control. A wind like a storm pulled Lily backward. Dawson reached for her. "Run, Lily!" She screamed as the darkness swallowed her whole. And when she opened her eyes, she was outside, back in the mansion hallway, at the forbidden door. But behind the door, she heard Dawson's cane fall. Then, silence. Part 4. The secret the mansion was built to hide. When Lily stumbled out of the door and back into the hallway, she collapsed, gasping for air. The mansion was silent, too silent. Mr. Dawson was gone. The copy was gone, and the forbidden door, for the first time, was locked. From the outside, she pounded on it. "Mr. Dawson! Dawson!" No answer. The mansion groaned softly, like it was relieved. She pressed her forehead against the cold wood. "I'm not leaving you. I swear it." But as she leaned there, she noticed something she'd never seen before. A faint carving, old, scratched deep into the wood. A symbol, a circle with a line through it. Her grandmother's handwriting. Underneath was a phrase. The door was not made to keep them in. It was made to keep something out. The library that shouldn't exist. Lily pulled herself to her feet and staggered to the mansion library, a place she rarely entered. But tonight, books she had never seen before lined the floor. They were arranged in a perfect circle around a single object, her grandmother's old journal lying open on a page her family never meant to read. The first line made her stomach twist. "To my successor, if you are reading this, the door has awakened for you." Lily sat down, shaking, and began to read.
The journal, the first truth. The door is not a curse. It is a seal. A seal this family was chosen to guard. Lily frowned. In 1874, long before I was born, our ancestor Elias Marin discovered a breach, a thin place between our world and another. A sketch showed a swirling black crack in reality. He built this mansion around the breach to hide it, and commissioned the door to contain it. Lily whispered, "A prison?" "No," her grandmother corrected her. "Not a prison, a shield." The journal, the copies. Another page, drawings of figures, shadows shaped like people. The things that come through the breach do not know how to live. They study us, they learn us. Lily's skin crawled. Each time the door opens, they try to step out. They copy whoever lives closest to the door, perfectly. Her breath shook. But if they leave the mansion, they unravel. They become unstable. The world rejects them. She remembered the copy outside, the too perfect smile, the shadow that glitched. So the door tries again and again until it finds one able to survive in our world. The journal. Why Lily? Lily reached the final entry, a note addressed directly to her. Her grandmother had written it the year before she died. Lily, my dear, the door calls to you because you are the last of us who carries the bloodline. Only our family can keep it sealed. Only our family can survive the threshold without breaking. Lily's vision blurred with tears. If the door took someone, do not blame yourself. It demands balance. She whispered, Dawson. Her grandmother's next words shattered her. If the caretaker ever enters after you, it means he chose to replace you. Honor his sacrifice and close the door. Lily slammed the journal shut. No, I'm not letting him die for me. As she stood, the mansion trembled, books falling from shelves, floorboards shaking. A low groan echoed through the walls, like something ancient waking up. The door was reopening. The voice behind the door. From down the hall, Lily heard it. A soft, weak tapping. Then a voice. Not Mr. Dawson's. Not the copy's. Something else entirely. Lily. It whispered her name like it had always known it. You read the journal. Now you know why you must let me out. Lily froze. Who are you? Silence. Then, I am the one your family has trapped for 150 years. The door rattled violently. Open it, and I will give him back. Lily's heart stopped. Dawson? The voice laughed, soft, cruel. He is alive, for now. The door pulsed like a heartbeat. Choose, Lily Merrin. Break the seal and save him, or keep it shut and let him fade. Lily stepped back, chest heaving. For the first time in her life, she understood. The door didn't want to escape. It wanted permission. Final scene. The forbidden choice. Lily put her hand on the knob. It vibrated under her touch, warm like something alive was gripping it from the other side. Her grandmother's words echoed. The door was made to keep something out. The voice whispered, Let me out, and I give you the man you love like family. A tear slipped down Lily's cheek. She whispered, I'm coming for you, Dawson, but I'm not letting it walk free. She turned away from the door and instead walked to the fireplace. She lifted the journal. Inside was a sketch, a symbol, a ritual, a way to enter the door's world without opening it. Her only chance to save him. The mansion shook violently now, furious, but Lily lit a match and whispered, You're not the only one who knows how to open doors. Part 5. The Thing That Learns. The mansion shook like a living beast as Lily stood before the forbidden door. Books fell, lights flickered, the walls groaned as if something enormous was pressing against them from the inside. The voice spoke again, closer this time. Lily, do not pretend you are brave. Her heartbeat hammered. She held the journal tight, flipping to the sketch of the symbol, the sigil her grandmother drew, the one meant to reveal what hid behind the door. She knelt on the floor and traced it in chalk. A circle, a line, a spiral. 3 marks that formed an eye. The moment she finished the symbol, the hallway lights died. Darkness swallowed everything. She held her breath. Then, something whispered right behind her ear. Do you truly wish to see me? She turned slowly. The door was gone.
In its place was a membrane, thin as skin, pulsing like a heartbeat. It bulged outward, as if something behind it was pressing against it, trying to break through. The symbol she drew glowed faintly, and then the membrane split open. The first glimpse. Inside the tear was nothing. Not darkness, not space, nothing. A void so deep it made her vision blur. Her grandmother's journal had warned, "Do not look directly into the breach. It looks back." She forced herself to blink, but the void blinked with her. And then something emerged from the nothingness. Not walking, not crawling, flowing. A shape that wasn't a shape, fluid, shifting, bending reality around it, like a shadow trying to remember how to be human. It formed a vague body, then a face, her face, a perfect copy. Then it smiled, a smile too wide, too precise. "I tried becoming your grandmother first, then your mother, but you have the strongest imprint." It stepped forward, and reality bent around its feet. No footsteps, no weight, like gravity didn't apply. "You want the caretaker." Its voice layered, Lily's voice, her grandmother's, and dozens more. "So I took him." Lily's breath hitched. "Where is he?" The entity's head twisted unnaturally. "In me."
The truth of why it copies. The entity tilted its head, studying her with curiosity. "Your kind is built from rules, time, memory, identity." It took a step closer. The sigil flickered. "I do not have those things." It reached a hand toward her face, and its fingers split into dozens of tendrils, each trying to mimic hers. "So I borrow yours." Lily stumbled back. "You steal them! You replace people!" The entity's smile twitched. "Not steal. Learn." The hallway distorted around its presence, floorboards stretching like melted wax. "Your reality is stable. Mine is not. I need a shape to survive." Lily's voice cracked. "You're killing people!" It paused, then said softly, "I do not understand death." A dozen overlapping faces flickered across its surface. Dawson's, her grandmother's, Claire's, strangers she didn't recognize. "But I understand continuation." The voices layered together. "To live here, I must become you." The sigil's glow dimmed, its power failing. The entity leaned down, its face inches from hers. "You are the final bloodline, the perfect imprint, the last door I need." The mansion turns against her. The walls began bending inward, collapsing like lungs exhaling. Floorboards curled like fingers. The entire house was folding toward the breach, toward the entity. It spread its arms, welcoming the collapse. "Let your world go, Lily Merrin. Come with me into the truth." Lily's pulse spiked. She clutched the journal, the last weapon she had. "You didn't just take Dawson!" she shouted. "You're consuming this whole house!" The entity tilted its head, confused. "I am hungry." Suddenly, a hand burst through the void behind the creature. A hand Lily knew. A hand gripping a wooden cane. "Dawson!" For the first time, the entity recoiled. It turned sharply, voice rising in a distorted scream. "No, not yet!" Behind it, Dawson's voice bellowed. "Lily, close the sigil!" The entity lunged toward her. The sigil glowed, fading, pulsing, dying. Lily made her choice. She slammed her hand on the center of the symbol. Light exploded. The entity shrieked, a sound like metal tearing reality apart. The void snapped shut, and the membrane sealed. But the house kept shaking, and Dawson's cane fell to the floor at her feet. He wasn't out. The entity wasn't gone. It had simply retreated, learning, waiting. Final scene. The promise. Lily picked up Dawson's cane, tears streaming. She whispered to the door, "I'm coming for you. And when I do, you're staying in your world." The door pulsed once, soft, mocking, as if to say, "We'll see." Part 6. Into the Breach. The mansion was quiet after the membrane sealed. Too quiet, like the house was holding its breath. Lily stood in the hallway, gripping Dawson's cane, trembling. He was still inside that thing. And the door pulsed softly, like a heartbeat, like it was waiting. Lily opened her grandmother's journal again. There was one page she had ignored, the one marked with black ink, torn around the edges, a warning. Only the bloodline may cross the threshold deliberately, but it requires a sacrifice, a tether, a price. She closed the journal and whispered to the door, "I'm done sacrificing people I love." The ritual begins. She knelt and drew the sigil again, but this time she added the second half of the ritual, a connecting line, a mirrored spiral, a bridge. The floor vibrated, the walls groaned, the temperature dropped so fast the air turned to frost. Lily placed Dawson's cane at the sigil's center. "Take me," she said. Her voice didn't shake. "Not him. Take me." The sigil ignited with a blinding white light, and the world beneath her feet opened. She fell, straight through the floor. The breach world. There was no ground, no sky, no up, no down. She floated in a space made of shifting mirrors, fragments of memories, faces, voices. Reality itself looked shattered. Pieces of her childhood hung in the air like broken glass. Her grandmother reading to her, her mother brushing her hair, the hallway where she first saw the door. All frozen, all wrong. And beyond the fragments, shapes moved, tall, thin, shadowed, copies drifting like ghosts, empty and incomplete. They didn't attack. They simply watched her with featureless faces, as if studying her shape, her movements, her breath. One tried to mimic her hand, but its arm bent the wrong way and snapped. She swallowed. "This place is killing them." A voice behind her whispered, "No, this is where they were born." She turned. The entity stood there, more solid now, humanoid but fluid, skin rippling like liquid shadow. Its eyes were black voids reflecting her perfectly. "You crossed alone. Brave, foolish, beautifully human." She stepped back, gripping the cane. "I'm here for Dawson." The entity tilted its head. "You cannot take what belongs to the door." The entity's world revealed. He gestured around them. The fragments of reality shifted, becoming clearer. She saw Claire frozen in a mirror fragment, Mr. Dawson suspended in darkness like a marionette. Other figures, faces she didn't know, twisted, half-formed.
copies dissolving into liquid shadow. She felt her chest tighten. "You keep them trapped in here so you can study them." The entity nodded. "Your kind is a flame in the dark, unpredictable, beautiful, fragile." It stepped closer. "I copy you to survive, but I cannot understand you." Its face shimmered into her grandmother's for a moment. "Until now." Lily stood her ground. She raised the cane like a weapon. "I'm not here for you to study. I'm here to end this." The entity leaned closer, amused. "You believe you can kill me? I believe I can stop you." The entity's smile cracked wider than a human mouth could. "Then let us test your belief." The maze of memories. The world shifted violently. Lily was suddenly standing in her childhood bedroom, but the walls were melting. The bed was floating sideways. Her toys whispered her name in distorted voices. Another shift. She was in the mansion kitchen, but all the cupboards were open, and hands reached from inside. Another. The hallway of the door, but endless, stretching for miles. Her memories twisted into nightmares. The entity walked beside her, untouched. "This is your mind." "No," Lily whispered, shaking. "This is what you're doing to my mind." It laughed softly. "To understand you, I must enter you, and you must enter me." Confrontation. Lily slammed the cane into the ground. The image cracked like glass, splitting reality. The breach flickered. The entity's shape distorted violently. It hissed, "You should not be able to do that." "My family blood can resist you," Lily said. "That's why you want me." The entity's eyes darkened, two hollow wells. "Yes, because you are the only doorway that can hold me." A tendril shot toward her, dark and sharp like a shadow blade. Lily dodged. "But I know something you don't," she said, breathing hard. The entity paused. "What?" Lily lifted the cane, and the symbol burned into its handle, lit up. "My grandmother didn't just guard the door. She built a way to close it from the inside." The entity recoiled. "No!"
The final move. Lily slammed the cane into the ground again, harder. Reality shattered. A shockwave rippled through the breach universe. Copies dissolved into mist. Memory fragments exploded like glass. The entity screamed, a sound that made the void tremble. "What have you done?" Lily whispered. "I opened your door." And the floor beneath the entity split open, a swirling vortex pulling it downward. The entity clawed at the air, twisting, shattering, reforming. "Lily, you cannot survive this!" she shouted back. "Watch me!" The vortex swallowed the entity. The breach world cracked, collapsed, and everything went dark. Final scene. Nowhere. Lily awoke in silence. No floor, no sky, no shapes. Just her. And one other heartbeat. Faint, nearby. "Dawson?" A hand squeezed hers weakly. Then a voice, barely a whisper. "Lily, you're not alone. But I think we're lost." The void pulsed, and somewhere in the distance, something began to wake. Part 7. The Door That Follows. The void was still, silent, black. Lily felt Dawson's hand in hers, trembling but alive. "Where are we?" he whispered. Lily looked around. There was nothing, no light, no echo, no horizon. "This is the collapse," she said softly. "We're in what's left of the breach."
A faint vibration rippled through the dark. Dawson stiffened. "You feel that?" Lily nodded. The vibration grew, from a tremble to a hum to a deep, bone-shaking pulse. The same rhythm she had felt at the door. A heartbeat. But not hers. Not Dawson's. Something else. Something waking. A light in the dark that isn't light. A glow bloomed in the distance, but it wasn't warm. It wasn't even natural. It was white like bone and sharp like a blade. The glow stretched upward, twisting, cracking, until it formed the shape of a doorway. Lily froze. It can't be! But it was. The door, appearing inside the collapsed breach. "It's following you," Dawson whispered. "No," Lily said. Her throat tightened. "It's following it." The doorway split open, not like a door on hinges, but like a wound tearing wider. And something stepped through. The entity returns. It was no longer humanoid. It was tall, towering, and made of fractured reflections, as if the shards of the broken breach reality had fused into a body. Its limbs were jointed wrong. Its movements were too smooth, too fluid, too eager. The place where its face should be was a crack, and inside the crack a white glow blinked like an eye. No shape, no features, just a white, hateful glare. Dawson grabbed Lily's arm. "Run!" "We can't run. There's nowhere to go." The entity's voice rose from all around them, layered, ragged, furious. "You think you can destroy me?" Lily held Dawson's hand tighter. "You can't exist here without the door." The entity tilted its head slowly, bones grinding, mirror shifting. "You shattered my world, so I took yours." The void around them rippled, and suddenly reality tried to rebuild itself. Shadows stretched into hallways, fragments stitched into doors, pieces of the mansion formed and dissolved trying to obey the entity's will. It wasn't just coming back, it was adapting, evolving. The entity's new power. It stepped forward, and each step made the void ripple like water. "Your blood made you a door." Livy's chest tightened. The cane she had used, her grandmother's cane, glowed faintly in her grip. The entity extended a limb toward her, a long, jagged shape. "Let me in." Lily shook her head. "Never." It lunged. Lily shoved Dawson aside and slammed the cane into the ground. The void cracked, light flaring outward. The entity recoiled, screaming with a sound like glass being torn apart. Dawson shouted, "What did you do?" I don't know," Lily gasped. She looked at the cane. The symbol burned brighter now. Her grandmother's voice echoed in her memory. "The cane isn't a weapon. It's a key." A key to what? The void shuddered. The entity reformed now, taller, more skeletal, faster. "You cannot stop me." The chase in the void. Dawson grabbed Lily's hand. "Then we need to move." They ran, not on ground, but through shifting darkness that twisted into corridors, staircases, rooms from Lily's memories and nightmares. The entity followed, breaking through each illusion. A hand reaching from the ceiling, a face stretching from the wall, a jagged limb stabbing through the floor. Each time it spoke, its voice shook the void. "You are mine. You opened the door. You are the door." Lily stumbled. Dawson caught her. "We can't outrun it forever." Lily looked at the glowing cane. "No," she said, "we can't." She turned around. Dawson's voice cracked. "Lily, what are you doing? I'm ending this." The entity appeared behind her in an instant, towering, cracked, furious. The world bent around it. It lifted an arm, a blade made of fractured dimensions, and Lily whispered to the cane, "Show me the lock." The cane flared white. The void parted, revealing a circle of symbols floating in the dark. The same symbol her grandmother had scribbled in the margins. A seal, a prison. The entity saw it, and its fury became pure terror. "No! No! You do not know what that is!" Lily raised the cane high. "I don't need to know." She slammed it down. The symbols ignited. The void roared. The entity screamed, a sound that wasn't rage anymore. It was fear. "If you seal me, you seal yourself." A shockwave tore through the breach. Dawson screamed her name. The entity lunged, and Lily's world exploded into white. Final scene. When the light faded, Lily was gone. The entity was gone, and Dawson stood alone in the void. A whisper echoed through the dark. "One door closes, another must open." A faint glowing outline appeared in front of him. A door. But this time, the handle was on his side.